Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to another Expanse reaction and review. Today I'm going to be watching, reviewing, and reacting to Season 2, Episode 12. I kind of have a busy schedule right now, things are a bit crazy, I'm pressed for time, so I want to make sure that I leave myself enough time at the end of filming to talk about this episode, so I'm just going to jump right into the episode pretty much right away today. Alright, so...
There it is, in the ag dome.
Ready PGCs, fire control to me.
Why kill it? It's such a base human instinct to destroy things we don't understand.
Don't talk down to me, plant guy.
Drone arrows should understand plenty.
You saw it. What you keep referring to as a thing could have been my child.
You don't know that.
Alex, give me the
And
scopes.
neither do you,
Child with a
Holden.
soul, Holden, terrified and tortured, unable to comprehend what happened to her.
Shit.
I mean, Holden, he has a point.
What's happening? Why are we stopping?
There's a patrol flying overhead.
Do not break off.
If we keep moving, ACS, they're going to send us a high-explosive welcome package, and then this hunt is going to be over permanently. Right now, we need to look like part of the scenery. We'll be out of range in a couple of seconds.
At least Alex has a cool head. Like, Holden, you're, making attempts at hot-headed decisions again. I'm having flashbacks to the beginning of Season 1. And he's got, like... when he gets, like, driven in some sort of, like... idea that he's doing something righteous. I don't know. It's like when he was chasing down whoever he thought was, responsible for the Canterbury. He had this same kind of anger, I feel like, and now it's what he sees as something, a thing that is a proto-molecule weapon, so...
They don't deserve this.
He would be strong for that.
When was the last time you left Earth?
None of your goddamn business.
Hope so.
When you mysteriously vanish, no one will ever find your body.
We used to use that for target practice.
This must be weird for you.
If it's any consolation, I don't want to be here either.
Why am I here?
Because the Martian delegation is still on Earth. And as long as they are here, you're a bargaining chip. So now I've taken you off the board.
I say I'm your property.
Let her win. Trust me.
I am not a fragile flower.
Which is also why you're here. Any shit hits the fan out here, I expect you two to get me out of it.
All hands prepare for liftoff.
This is a fun trio.
Clear and on course for Hotel Echo Oscar insertion.
Say something to distract me.
I don't like this whole setup. Why is Mao suddenly so eager to come in from the cold? It reeks.
Actually, be quiet.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think that's the distraction she meant. You know, something calming and...
A child can leave Earth without looking back. But not an old man. Jules-Pierre may be a titan of the system, but his life, his memories are anchored to that rock. That is Earth's real ground.
So that's what this is? He's thinking about killing himself.
We can't fill our ship's air tanks.
How much air do we have?
Not counting us 5, enough for about 52 people.
Oh.
There's over 100 out there, and they'll be coming faster now.
That's not good.
We open that door and announce we're taking 50 on a ship that fits 300. They'll tear each other apart, and us.
I'll call the Rosie. Get Holden to come back.
Can't.
He poisoned him? He wasn't killing himself? He was gonna kill him? What?
An act of God. I mean, this stuff was staggeringly effective, but then they banned it under the Brussels Act. And yet, here we are, using it. You give a monkey a stick, inevitably he'll beat another monkey to death with it.
was a remedy for a lover's quarrel.
In time, Earth may be granted access to the protomolecule, same as Mars. You'll partner with my companies in funding and research. Mars and Earth will maintain peace through balance, which you prefer to call mutually assured destruction.
And you'll remain in the middle, benefiting from both, somehow loyal to both.
It's that simple.
A lovely thought. But when parents fight, the child has a crisis of loyalty.
You've got that backwards, madame. Earth and Mars are the children here, screaming for their trinkets, blind to a miracle.
What a fucking egomaniac.
Sir, type beam from Secretary Ehrenreich. Excuse me? It's for you, sir, and the Undersecretary. Put it up.
Time is short and I'll be brief. Martian Defense Minister Korshunov suffered a fatal heart attack earlier this evening. Simultaneously, the MCRN Karakum, dispatched by Korshunov to take delivery of your protomolecules technology, was destroyed over Ganymede. And I gave the order. And I can give the same order to end your life where you breathe at the same coordinates I'm... And now you throw me to the wolves for fulfilling my sacred oath while you grovel at the foot of Mars and Jules-Pierre Mao. And that is the real betrayal here. So, Jules, you will clean up the mess you made for me. You will return to Earth alone. You will await my instructions, and you will get the fuck back to work.
He just basically told them to kill her.
You can't understand why that should matter. That's not my problem.
Those people will kill you.
Let go of me! Let go!
Oh.
The ship has it for 52! Only 52! I came out here to see what you and I could do about that.
Trying to tick me, huh? Like that tobacco all up. Oh, shit!
Calm these people down and line them up. Children first. Best you can. Do it, and I'll trade places with you.
Why would you do that?
I was on the last ship of heroes. I didn't do enough.
Run on, heroes.
We all did.
The ship is locked from the inside. Where's your pride, built in on us? We're tougher than anyone in the system. Every single one of you knew. You were certain on the day you were born. Our life is hard. Now, there's air for only 52 aboard. Only 52 of us can go. There will be children, young women, and young men getting on. If we have to stay back, we have to stay back. So let's be tough and do...
Oh, I have my turn. Stay together. Don't lose this place. Go.
That's good. Go. Move. That's right. That's good. Keep moving. Keep moving. That's good. Go. I'm sorry, sister. And next group. Go. Come on. That's it. One more.
Go. You've earned it. Thank you.
We're not finished yet.
The second the somnambulist sticks its head out of the station, it's gonna get lit up.
Naomi was right, you know it. This ain't gonna end anything.
And our family needs our help right now.
You did good today.
Wait.
3 years ago.
That was... Hang on. I gotta just go back and look at something. I'm gonna just look at something quickly. Is that the thing? Is that the hybrid that's on the ship? The hybrid is on the ship. I should have known it couldn't just be simple, right? Or couldn't end happily. Oh my god. Whew. Well, that episode, okay, so episode 12 down, and that episode was something else. That whole scene when Naomi went out there, and then they actually, you know, were able to calm everybody down, and they worked together and just made the decision to save some of them, and the rest of them were just accepting their deaths, basically. I mean, that hit me really hard. That was really hard to watch. And they did a good job of making you feel like the pain of the people, that characters you don't even know, that don't even have names, that are down there and being separated from loved ones, or the sacrifice they're making. They did a really good job of making you feel that, I thought. Yeah. So that's kind of making it, it's still with me, making it a little difficult to think and process things, but so that was the big part of the episode for me, and I felt like it really highlighted the truth, the reality of what Naomi was saying to Holden previously when she said that she was going to leave and go help with this, is that, you know, we can't stop everything with the protomolecule on our own. Whatever this is with the hybrids, you know, we are not capable of just wiping it all out, destroying it. But what we can do is try and help some people in a practical, real-life way, and that is what they ended up doing. So, and Alex said, you know, she was right. And I think a lot of this episode was about highlighting that reality, and that Holden had gotten so far kind of away from that because of his anger and fear that were a consequence of the things that he experienced on Eros, and his feelings towards anything having to do with the protomolecule. And like I was saying, that he seemed so worked up, like in a rage, on the same level as he did after the Canterbury, and so he was kind of making similarly stupid decisions based on his driving impulse to just destroy this thing at whatever seeming cost, potential risk, to the point that he risks the Rocinante and his life and Alex's life. He's willing to kill it, even if there's a chance that it's actually, you know, a child that's been experimented on and they don't know what that means, or if that child can be helped or what. And then he almost, if it isn't for Alex, like, reminding him what the hell is happening, he almost isn't even willing to abandon that search to go save their friends and a bunch of civilians. But he did make the right choice at the end. You know, he maybe came around and realized what was going on, and I'm kind of interested in how this really encapsulates some of the changes we've seen in Holden, because I don't think he's necessarily changed in terms of, you know, his focus on doing particular things and things that maybe are crazy and can't be done. That's always been a part of his character, right? From the very beginning. He had certain beliefs, he felt certain things were right and true, and even if it got him in a ton of trouble, and even if other people told him that his efforts were useless, he was going to go out and still make the effort as an idealist. That has remained consistent, but it seems that laser-guided focus has moved from first, you know, what he saw as justice for the Canterbury, and then a larger quest to try and stop this horrific thing from being done to innocent people with the protomolecule, and to just save people. It's shifted from all of that just to kind of like a destroy the protomolecule at all costs sort of like rage cause, really. And so I think, you know, that's why we see him willing to basically let people be tortured, let them die. And so I guess that's a lot of what Naomi was seeing, and she's saying, you're acting more like Miller, you're going towards this other side, because it's the same driven nature he's always had, but it's turned in more of a dark, focused way on stopping and destroying anything related to the protomolecule at all cost, as opposed to in the past where things were more about justice at all cost or saving people at all cost. So it was more about actually helping people before. And I don't know, maybe this will be kind of a turning point for him, this moment. Maybe he'll start to kind of shift back the other way and realize that, you know, how close that he came towards maybe making some really horrible decisions. I don't know, hopefully, but I guess we'll see. But I've been thinking about and curious about his changes, his development over the past few episodes, and I think this one really helped me process what I think has been fully going on with him, and what Naomi obviously saw before anybody else. And speaking of Naomi, you know, I also thought that it was an interesting interaction between her and Amos here this episode, where, you know, Amos, it's not surprising to me that his perspective in telling her was that they should leave everybody, that they should do the safe thing, the practical thing to save their own lives, and to not, you know, trust in the Belters out there, that they would be able to just allow few people to leave, even if it meant the rest of their deaths, as opposed to everyone rushing and potentially all of them dying. So, you know, there's no surprise that was Amos's perspective, and that he'd try to stop her, even though he does still say that he would rather follow like someone like Naomi, who seems more, you know, moral. But it was interesting how far that she went to like prevent that from happening, and I'm curious to see what's going to come out of that, if anything, if Amos is going to have some sort of negative reaction to the fact that she basically drugged him and left him helpless and at the mercy of whatever decision that she made, because I mean, if the people had swarmed the ship, right, if they had done that and then they hadn't been able to escape, or if they'd escaped and then they all suffocated in orbit because they couldn't match up with the Rocinante or whatever happened, then basically she would have killed Amos by doing that. And I don't know if he's going to think about that at all, or if it's really going to matter, if he's going to just say, you know what, she was probably right because she's a better person than me. I don't know, but I'm curious to see how that is going to go, especially because the way that they were filming it and highlighting that, it seemed like it's going to have some significance, but we'll see. And then, of course, the other big things that are going on in this episode are focused around Ehrenreich in particular, and then Avasarala and her little crew going to meet with Jules-Pierre Mao. And so, yes, it turns out to be the case that Jules-Pierre Mao is trying to put himself in kind of the middle or above both Earth and Mars as kind of the puppet master, and they both have to play to his tune in order to get any access to the proto-molecule if they want it, and he tries to justify things, saying that he's looking out for everyone's best interest, and he'll set up a situation where it'll be mutually assured destruction, you know, if they both meet his requirements. But, I mean, it's all just narcissistic bullshit coming out of him. A huge egomaniac, and you think, do you actually really care that much about Earth or about even your own family, to the extent that he was saying, oh, you've frozen my family's assets, you've hauled them in and such and such and such. But, you know, that wouldn't have happened necessarily if you just turned yourself in. You could have saved your family a lot of pain and effort. But that's not what people like this are going to do. They're going to continue to try and play because they think that they're smarter and more superior to everyone else, and that he thinks that he would find a way to both continue to hold power himself and to prevent his family from suffering long term. So if they have to suffer in the short term, fine. And it seems like that's probably his similar perspective on people in general on Earth and Mars, as they're more just like pawns. Yeah. But then Ehrenreich turns around and plays him in a different way, and I didn't see that coming, to be honest. I really thought that he was setting up to kill himself, and I'm still curious about, like, the conversation that he had with his son, and then he wrote that letter. You know, was he planning to kill himself, but that he changed his mind, or was he only doing all of that in case he failed in the effort to kill the other guy, and then, you know, his son would find out he was an attempted murderer and that he was going to be sentenced to whatever. So was that why he was doing those things and he never had any intention of taking any responsibility and this was always a plot? I don't know. I find it interesting that he seems so betrayed by Avasarala. He is the one that was going behind everyone's back and making this deal with Jules-Pierre Mao. And I feel like, kind of similar to Jules-Pierre Mao, he's kind of justifying it all to himself and saying that I was doing what's in the best interest of Earth. And that's not to say that I don't believe him when he says that he legitimately thinks that Mars would attack Earth, and his whole statement as the other guy was dying about how, you know, one person will kill another if given, you know, tools and opportunity, and so he legitimately is of the belief that you have to have superior weapons and be prepared to fight, or maybe to attack first, or else you'll be attacked. I'm not saying I don't believe that's his point of view. I think that he does believe that, and that is probably part of his motivation in all of this, and working with Jules-Pierre Mao in the first place, and then with going behind Avasarala's back and continuing to do this, and obviously killing that guy. But again, I feel like there's some element of narcissism there, because, yeah, okay, you care about protecting Earth, but, I mean, you care about protecting yourself perhaps a little bit more, because there might be better ways to protect Earth without actually performing these experiments that kill hundreds of thousands of people and put tons of people at risk and, you know, turn children into hybrids or whatnot. But yeah. So, I mean, I guess on the one hand, I can kind of see how he would feel betrayed by Avasarala if she always has been saying this idea to him that Earth must come first, you know, do whatever it takes to protect Earth, and he feels like that's what he was doing, and then she turned her back on him. But what I'm trying to say is I think that maybe he's self-justifying to himself by saying that's what he was doing, and not really realizing the more selfish aspect of it, and why she was telling him that there's a different way that we need to go. But regardless, it seems that he's set her up in a position where he wants Jules-Pierre Mao to come back to Earth and now work with him again, because he has seemingly severed his tie with Mars. But he wants him to come back alone, and then we see them all pulling weapons. So he wants them to, what, kill Avasarala, get rid of her for him, because she's the one that knows, like, everything that he's done, and yeah. I'm thinking that's kind of what it is, so I guess it's a good thing that she brought Bobby along. But yeah, so I guess leading into the next episode, that's going to be the big thing. What's going to happen to Avasarala there? And then what's going to happen with what I presume is that thing is now hightailed it off of Ganymede and is stowing away with them. Yeah. So, and I would just like to also just say thank you. I was told to, near the end of the episode, to pay attention, that there was something that was seen quickly and that I might miss it if I wasn't paying attention. And so I did, like, glimpse something briefly first time through, but the reason that I said wait and I wanted to scroll back to confirm that I saw what I think I saw is because I was warned ahead of time that I should pay attention to the very end, so. Alright, I think that about wraps up the discussion for me here today, guys. So if you have questions, comments for me, please do feel free to leave them down below. Otherwise, I'll just say thank you very much for joining me today, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Bye.